I know I'm going to get judged harshly for this, but I am in a state of emotional panic and I desperately need objective advice before I make a huge mistake. I feel like my life is being watched, and I need to know if I'm overreacting or if my life is actually in danger. I am 29F, and my now ex-boyfriend, Jake, 31M, and I were together for 2 years. Yesterday, I told him I needed a couple of days of total, absolute space to clear my head about our relationship. Today, he showed up at my high-rise corporate office, trying to ambush me in the lobby. It's been less than 24 hours since I set the simplest, clearest boundary possible, and he reacted by proving exactly why I needed the space in the first place. When I first met Jake, he was everything I thought I wanted. He was effortlessly charming, hilarious, and successful in his own right in digital marketing. He came on strong, but in a way that felt thrilling, like a whirlwind romance straight out of a movie. He would show up with my favorite coffee order without me asking, and he remembered details about my family I'd only mentioned in passing. It was intoxicating. Within 6 months, he had essentially moved into my apartment. Everything felt so easy and right. He was my biggest cheerleader, especially concerning my career. I'm an analyst at a major firm, and the hours are brutal, but he always told me how proud he was of my ambition. He framed our life as a partnership. I was the career woman, and he was the grounding, emotional anchor. The slow deterioration started subtly about a year in. My demanding schedule began to cause friction. Instead of acknowledging the job pressure, he'd personalize it. If I worked late, he wouldn't say, "That's a tough deadline." He'd say, "You'd rather be at work than with me." The initial pride in my ambitions slowly curdled into passive-aggressive resentment. He also started policing my social circle. My friend group is diverse, but he developed an intense dislike for my friend Lisa, who is a very outspoken, independent woman. He'd constantly make jokes about Lisa's life choices, suggesting she was a bad influence. Eventually, I started avoiding meetups with Lisa, just to avoid the sighing and the cold shoulder I'd receive from Jake when I got home. I was constantly walking on eggshells, but I convinced myself this was just how deep commitment felt, a little uncomfortable, a little restrictive, but ultimately worth it for the love we shared. Every time I brought up my feelings of being smothered, he'd flip the script instantly. "I'm sorry I love you too much, OP. I guess I'll just try to leave you alone, since that's what you clearly want." The guilt was a heavy blanket I couldn't shake off. About a year and a half ago, Jake was blindsided by a major reorganization at his firm and was laid off. This was the true turning point. I handled it the way any supportive partner would. I paid the bills, helped with his resume, and gave him all the emotional support I could. But instead of focusing on finding a new job, he fixated entirely on me. He became completely dependent on my schedule, my mood, and my presence to regulate his own emotions. He stopped job searching with any real effort and instead spent his days waiting for me to get home. My work stress increased exponentially. I was given a huge project and was up for a major promotion. This demanded 60-hour weeks, constant focus, and zero distractions. Jake saw my work as competition. When I tried to work from home, he'd interrupt me every 15 minutes with a quick question, or just stand silently in the doorway until I acknowledged him. The emotional weight became unbearable. I felt like I had a depressed, needy child instead of a partner. I started lying about my work schedule just to get an extra hour of silence after I walked in the door. If I didn't answer his calls during my 1-hour lunch break, he'd launch into a tearful panic attack when I got home, convinced I had been in an accident. He was using my empathy against me. The exhaustion finally reached a critical level last weekend. I was physically ill from stress. I told him I needed to skip our planned Saturday night dinner out because I needed silence and sleep. He retaliated by staying up all night, loudly watching TV and passive-aggressively slamming cabinet doors, ensuring I couldn't get a moment of peace. That's when I knew I had to break the cycle. I realized I was more scared of his reaction to my needs than I was of losing him. Sunday morning, I woke up feeling completely empty. I looked at the man sleeping next to me, and all I felt was overwhelming dread. I realized I hadn't genuinely laughed or felt relaxed in months. I decided a pause was necessary, a moment to regain my perspective, or risk losing myself entirely. I sat him down while he was making coffee, before he could start any emotional drama, and forced myself to be crystal clear. I chose my words carefully, removing any ambiguity. Jake, I love you, but I am emotionally drowning. The current dynamic is suffocating me, and I need to figure out what's next for us. I can't do that while managing your anxiety. He looked stunned. His lip immediately started to tremble. I held up my hand, stopping the inevitable meltdown. Please. Listen. I need 48 hours. Absolute, total, clean slate, no contact. I'm going to stay at Lisa's place for 2 nights. No texts, no calls, no emails, no showing up at Lisa's, no reaching out to my family. I need to be completely isolated from this relationship to think clearly. I emphasized it was a pause, not a definitive breakup, hoping that word choice would keep him calm enough to listen. But the manipulation started instantly. He dropped the coffee mug he was holding, it was empty, thankfully, and covered his face, launching into full-blown hysterics. You're punishing me. What did I do? You're leaving me alone when I need you most. You know I can't handle being alone. I remained firm. I am not punishing you, I am setting a boundary. I will call you Tuesday at 7 p.m. Until then, you need to respect my request for distance. I quickly grabbed my pre-packed bag and walked toward the door. He followed me, grabbing my arm, his voice frantic. Wait. Just tell me you're safe. Just let me text you a good morning. Please. That's all I need. I shook my arm free, met his desperate gaze, and said, I will be safe. You have to respect this, Jake. This is the only way we move forward. I walked out, the sound of his sobbing echoing down the stairwell. The guilt was excruciating, but the relief was a physical lightness in my chest. I arrived at Lisa's, explained the situation, and immediately set my phone to silent. Lisa was amazing. She validated everything I felt. She reminded me that this was the bare minimum of respect I could ask for. The violation of the no-contact rule started approximately 5 minutes after I left my apartment. The texts came in a flood. Panic, despair, pleading, then anger, then back to begging. I'm going crazy. Are you still there? If you truly loved me, you would respond, tell Lisa to stay out of our business. He called me over 20 times that evening, leaving a mix of tearful voicemails and accusatory demands. I didn't waver. I let Lisa listen to a couple of the messages just so she understood the intensity. She only shook her head and reinforced the necessity of the boundary. Around 10 p.m., Lisa's Ring doorbell went off. My heart hammered against my ribs. Lisa checked the feed and looked at me, her face pale. It's him. He's standing on the porch. He had driven 30 minutes to my friend's place, completely ignoring my explicit request, and was now trying to insert himself into my space. I immediately felt a terrifying shift from sadness to outright fear. I told Lisa, do not open the door. Tell him I'm asleep and that he needs to leave immediately or you will call the police. Lisa, being the boss she is, opened the door just enough to slide her body into the gap and spoke to him firmly. I could hear Jake's whiny voice. I just needed to confirm she was okay. I was worried she was going to hurt herself. I just want to see her face. Lisa closed the door and locked it without another word. He lingered for 10 minutes before finally leaving. The violation was complete. He had proven that his need to control and access me outweighed my explicit desire for privacy and space. I barely slept that night. I was running on coffee and pure adrenaline the next morning, but I had to be sharp. Today was the final, critical meeting for my promotion pitch. My professional life was my sanctuary, the last piece of my identity he hadn't managed to control. I drove straight from Lisa's to work, keeping my phone on silent, reviewing my presentation notes. I felt a surge of professional confidence, a small armor against the emotional chaos. Then, just as I was walking toward the massive glass entrance of my office tower, my phone lit up with a text from him. "Jake, I'm here. I'm sitting outside the building. I just need a quick hug. I can't focus knowing you're mad at me. I'm so sorry. I need to see your face." My stomach churned. The disrespect was beyond anything I could have imagined. He wasn't just violating a personal boundary, he was intruding on my professional life, jeopardizing my reputation and my promotion. I looked up and saw him instantly. He was sitting on a stone planter bench across from the main entrance, dressed in a hoodie, looking utterly defeated and dramatically miserable. It was a performance for anyone watching. I saw my mentor, David, walking in, giving Jake a quick, confused side eye. I knew I couldn't let this slide. If I walked past him, he would either wait for me all day or, worse, follow me into the lobby. I took a deep breath, straightened my blazer, and walked toward him with a chilling, focused calm. I stopped directly in front of him. "Get up. Now." My voice was quiet, but it was the coldest sound I'd ever made. He scrambled up, his face lighting up with that sickening, manipulative hope. "Up. Thank God. I just need 5 minutes to explain." I cut him off, staring straight into his eyes. "You came to my place of work. You came here. On my most important day. I explicitly asked for 48 hours of no contact, and you violated that within 5 minutes. You showed up at Lisa's. And now you're here." He immediately launched into the victim role. "I was worried. I thought you were depressed. Why are you attacking me? I was just showing you how much I care. I just wanted to see if you were okay." "Stop," I commanded. "This isn't care, Jake. This is manipulation and control. This confirms for me that we are fundamentally broken." I said the words clearly, publicly, right there on the sidewalk in front of my office building. "We are done. I am breaking up with you." His face fell into genuine, furious panic. He started shouting, his voice echoing off the glass. "You can't do this. You're breaking my heart. You're being hysterical because of your work stress." I pulled out my phone, stepped back, and dialed building security. "Hello, this is my name, Finance, floor 22. I have an ex-boyfriend causing a disturbance outside the main entrance. He is unwelcome and needs to be escorted off the premises immediately." I hung up, looked Jake directly in the eye, and whispered, "I am calling the police if you are here in 5 minutes. Then, I turned and walked straight into the building, not looking back. I saw the security team approaching him as the elevator doors closed. I made it to my meeting 15 minutes late, completely shaking, but I channeled the adrenaline and cold fury into my presentation. I nailed it. I got the promotion. But the victory felt hollow. The texts from Jake escalated throughout the day. They alternated between desperate pleas, "I'll change, I swear, please come home," and vicious attacks, "You're going to die alone with your spreadsheets, you cruel woman." He immediately started contacting all our mutual friends, framing me as an ice queen who had abruptly dumped him without cause right after getting her promotion. He was trying to poison my entire social sphere. I spent the afternoon on the phone, explaining the situation to my sister and my closest friends, trying to preemptively control the damage. I feel a wave of relief that I'm finally free of the mental gymnastics, but it's completely overshadowed by the fear. I'm currently back at Lisa's, avoiding my apartment. Jake still has a spare key to my place, and I know he won't give it back willingly. He sees it as his access point. I am arranging for a locksmith to change the locks first thing tomorrow morning while I'm at work, but the thought of him going there tonight makes me physically sick. I can't bear the thought of one more confrontation, even public, to retrieve a simple key. I'm scared he'll escalate the emotional abuse into stalking. Do I need to send one final text setting a place and time for a key swap, like a police station lobby, just to maintain the moral high ground? Or should I just go completely no contact, change the locks, and let him deal with the consequence of violating my boundaries? What do you think? Should I try for one final, mediated key exchange, or should I change the locks and block him everywhere, treating this as a full security threat? If you were in my shoes, what would you do?